It's the Tentacle. Again. Because the last episode had some, I guess you could call it technical issues with it, which have been fixed now. This is running at 60 frames a second, and God, I can only hope that it's going to be working this time, because I don't know what I would do. Just do a new Tentacle episode every couple hours until I finally perfect this thing. But anyway, it's really not the worst thing to be doing another run, because as well as the last one went, it was kind of, you know, kind of your standard type of brutality run. There wasn't really a whole lot to be said aside from that. Sure, it was a good one, got some pretty good synergies and just a pretty good build in general, but I can do some more interesting stuff with this. After all, it does scale with tactics, which is like what I think I'm going to be trying to make use of this time. And as I said last time, I'm really going to try to avoid having this become a turret run guest featuring Tentacle in a small role, but at least for right now, it's starting out pretty well, even though I have no idea how I'm going to make, like, Death Orb and, God, Grappling Hook especially work with this particular build. I don't know. Like I said, it's worth kind of checking out what else I can do with this weapon. I mean, one of the more interesting things I found out related to this was the fact that it does seem to be a hybrid melee and ranged weapon. Like the tentacle hit is ranged while the punches are all melee. Maybe there's something I can do with that with like mutations. Well, who knows really. I mean, either way, I think it's also worth kind of like experimenting around here, because worst comes to worst, I can just go cut in the... Wanna come up here? No? Okay. Because worst comes to worst, I can just cut into the end of the previous episode and be like, hey, this is what a good run with Tentacle looks like. I mean, you just ignore the fact that it looks like a slideshow. Look, NetHack does not need to be recorded at 60 frames a second. I was messing around with some of the settings and they didn't turn it back. So, my bad. Oh, well, what else? Lacerating Aura, you know, I had a chance to use that last episode. I think it would actually be worthwhile to take this time, just because I am going to be getting close just using the whole gimmick of the Tentacle just by itself. So turning that on, pulling myself towards an enemy, it's an interesting tactic, and one that I think would work out pretty well if I really try to make good use of it. Especially if I can manage to get any of those really great synergies that I did last time. I don't know, it's like I'm really trying to avoid using too many great turrets, you know, just going full on Great Owl of War plus heavy turret or double crossbow-matic or something like that. I think that this is kind of my best alternative, so it's certainly worth looking into. And then aside from that, I do think I'm just going to take kind of like a more traditional route once again because, well, you know, Take Two and all that. It is like 1:30 in the morning as of right now, so it's going to be... I can imagine by the end of this, it's going to start getting weird, as befitting a Tentacle run. Rooting enemies to the ground with a boy's axe is not really the ideal secondary weapon, but I think it will work pretty well with this. You know, just the ability to keep enemies in place while... Well, I suppose you just got to be far enough away to be able to... get the big punch. I mean, the secondary part of the combo, where you just do a couple like kicks, is not as powerful because it doesn't get the critical, but you have to be pretty close to an enemy for that to be happening. All right, what is going to be like plus 27% damage if no enemies are near you? There's something to that, maybe. Like get big first hit and then kind of try to get that working to my advantage. I wonder if I'll be able to get it for like the big first hit and the big rocket punch, or if it will immediately go away before I hit an enemy. Like I said, the experimentation, I think, is going to be the value add for this particular episode, and the fact that it doesn't look like garbage. But, you know, I can imagine that's probably why you're watching this in the first place. Look, I would prefer you watch this episode if I'm being honest, because after all, this is the one I'm monetizing. The other one isn't. Oh, also, it's going to be the better one. I mean, yeah, I guess that's important too. Whatever, oh yeah, this is not going to be very good here. Trying to use Lacerating Aura plus Crow's Wings. I am going to have to switch that out for something else. you really do need to have something that has very good tracking to make a lot of usage out of the crow's wings. Whether it's like an electric whip or magic missile especially. I mean, magic missile is already one of the better tactics items I think you can get, because it just is... All you gotta do is just hold down the button and it will automatically hit any enemy around you. Be flying high up in the sky with the crow's wings, it's match made in heaven. But yeah, not that run in particular. This is... I guess I would call this melee tactics. I mean, you would definitely consider this melee tactics, even though the Tentacle does have some pretty big range on it. It's just, you know, the range goes away on first hit. So, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird build, and I mean, I shouldn't really have to say anything too much about how I'm not a huge fan of melee tactics, but I think it's still worth at least trying to mess around with, especially when like I said, the stakes are low. The stakes could not be lower, considering this is already... I guess you could technically call it a bonus episode. I'm more like calling it my penance for messing up the first episode. So, I mean, these are probably going to be uploaded at the same time, but if they weren't for some reason, I hope you chilled until the next episode. Yeah, I wanted to throw that reference in there. What do you want from me? I love that album. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to be able to get like a good 34 in stats as last time, as well as just the great... Okay. Yeah, the very narrow range that this thing hits remains extremely frustrating. But I can't really say that it's like I didn't expect it this time. I was well aware that it was going to turn out like this after all. All right. But that's why something like the lacerating aura and maybe even the ability to latch onto walls could actually be useful, which is not something that I mean, I still wasn't able to find any use with it in the last episode. It's just, well, it's still a thing. It's still a thing you can do. Maybe like latching yourself to walls would be an easy way to clear out a room, but at the same time, Dead Cells is just not built for like really that sort of movement options. Wall climbing? Absolutely. Yep, there's that. There's some weird nonsense with climbing up on stuff again. Okay. But hey, it works out to my advantage, so I'm not going to complain. Yeah, it's like Dead Cells is just not... Yeah, it's a pretty fast-paced action game. It is not that kind of fast-paced action game, though, where it's like grappling to walls is going to be all that useful. Nor is the Tentacle long enough to really make it very good, and it's also not fast enough, like the War Javelin, for example. It doesn't have the distance, it doesn't have the speed, unlike the War Javelin, which is similar, but you know, I think fulfills that purpose a lot better for being a speedy speed boy. Which, as much as I do like that sort of gameplay style, and I don't know, maybe I'll go into the yeah, maybe I will go into the ramparts, really try to make that phrase accurate this time. It's like it just does not fulfill that function. Well, anyway, I mean, as you saw when I was fighting that elite there, man, you really do get a lot of invincibility frames when you're doing the punch, which is good. I mean, it's good for some very highly specific dodging. I wouldn't really say that it's something that I would put too much in the weapon's favor. I would throw it on there along with, like, goes through shields in terms of usefulness. Sure, every once in a while on the run, you're going to be able to get yourself through a... Actually, I will take this. You're going to be able to get yourself through a golem punch or a rampager charging at you, but it's not really... You're not like, oh yeah, this is the reason why I want to pick up this weapon, because you can kind of use it to do a super janky dodge occasionally. I mean, I suppose more often than you would be able to with like the grappling hook, but not enough. You gotta have more than that. You know, I'll take stun grenade instead of the oil grenade. I already kind of used that more than enough in the previous episode. But here, stunning? Well, it's not great, but especially, you know, if you're going for a little bit more melee tactics, crowd control can become quite important. Just take you out immediately. Haven't even been using the Voice Axe. I think that's something that will just enable some synergies is going to be better. Maybe like a throwing knife or just taking a... Well, I missed a couple scroll fragments. Or maybe just taking like firebrands again. Two very good options just for, yeah, like I said, dealing extra damage. Which is sometimes all you need. Hey, I got the 60 kills this time. No, last time I was memeing it up. I wasn't, but still. You'd be forgiven for making that mistake, considering how often I do meme it up. At least I got it this time. All right. All right, I was going to go into the ramparts for the Speedy Speed Boy thing. Oh, well, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I want to, but I can't. I can't. You know I can't. It's just... Hokuto's bow is so perfect. It will buff up the very tiny hit the initial tentacle will do on enemies. And also buff up everything else. Because it's a great weapon. But no. Hey, parting gift? Kill an enemy with a non-melee attack. I mean, I guess you can really just say any attack. It's not like this thing is going to be breaking the melee for whatever. Predator? Stealthy stealth boy? Perhaps? I don't know. Maybe there's something to this. I'll give her a try because I think that the punch should technically be considered a kill with that. As long as I'm kind of keeping on top of the yeah, I'll take that. Yeah. As long as I'm keeping kind of on top of the most powerful version of the tentacle that can possibly get. Oh boy. Well, here's where I'm going to start getting some usage of the... yeah. Now, Rampager also probably over here. Yeah, start getting some use from that. Which is a good time for... Whoa, okay, dude. You ready to make crazy money? Here we go. Yeah. Well, anyway. I don't know. The way I said that just reminded me of the wall. Oh, it just reminded me of the Crazy Taxi announcer. What do you want from me? And of course, I'll take any opportunity possible to sing the Offspring's All I Want. I like that song. Even though I'm not like a huge fan of other... No, that does reflect, reflect. It does deflect, I suppose, the tentacle, which is interesting. And yeah, that did work. Especially for, the weird movement that you can sometimes get with this weapon. I do think having something that gives you the ability to just kind of go invisible like that, cancel out enemies' attacks even for just a second, can be pretty good. It's a sort of thing that you really want to look for if you are going to be literally launching yourself into danger with this weapon. Oh, yeah. I messed that up there. Would like to see a little bit more range on this weapon. Just like if people... I guess, I can't really say that it's bad or anything. Because the last run I had, pretty solid. But at the same time, it's like, if you really want people to be using this a lot more, I think like giving it just absolutely ludicrous range would be maybe an option. The ability to really grapple yourself across the room, like I was talking about with the I'm getting distracted by the elite here. Yeesh, that's some tactics help, I guess, is the best way to put it. Yes. Especially with, like, the War Javelin comparisons, it's, like, a little bit of, like, really making sure that you can hit at a distance would go a long way to softening the whole blow, knowing that you gotta do some weird acrobatics to make this thing work in the first place. And, like I said, literally launch yourself into danger. I mean, that's just... Dead cells, especially as you're getting up in the higher cell difficulties, really do start to have a lot of enemies in here. And it is... and it is hard to deal with... I mean, I guess technically this is a multi-hitting weapon, but only one enemy is going to be hit by the tentacle itself. You can get multiple enemies in the big punch, but that's one of those things, like, I don't know if I can really say, yeah, that's an important part of how this weapon works. Get some of that close range punching and kicking in here. Good, good, good. And yeah, I'll take that. I think the 75% damage reduction is going to go a long way to making sure that I'm not going to die here. Well, we are still talking about tactics health. I suppose I shouldn't make that claim. Get some real iframes out of this. It's just, I don't know, does it matter that much? Like, it's good, but it sure is hard to plan around. Well, that was the entirely wrong direction. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. I would be perfectly willing to switch up for something else right now. Maybe Corrosive Cloud? Has been improved. Could get some good center. I think I should just save my money for Grappling Hook again. It's like, oh yeah, I want the kind of like worse, or at the very least different version of this weapon right now. The one that has a big cooldown. Nice, thank you. That is the sort of thing that I really need right now. The amount of damage I was taking there. But yeah, either way, it's, you know, you don't get the big hits if you're not far away. So it's a weapon that is at least partially based around spacing yourself. Which is a little bit frustrating, but if you get powerful enough, you can just like start one-shotting enemies anyway, and it's not really all that big of a deal. It's just when you're not one-shotting enemies, it becomes... That's where the problems come in. Ooh. A little bit scary there, but... And as you can see, I am not one-shotting enemies right now. So here's where the problems are coming in. I love that. Anyway, I mean, it's certainly something that comes up. It's certainly a glitch that comes up very often in the game, just, well, period. Because maybe I'm not giving those iframes enough credit. I don't know. Try a little bit Cleaver. You pull yourself to the enemy. You don't pull the enemy to you, which makes using Cleaver like a little bit... It's not quite the same thing. And yo, if I'm being real, I'm going to go back to the ossuary. I mean, I said, oh, let's do a different route, and now it's Promenade, Depths, ossuary. Pulling yourself into Mama Tick's face is not a good idea. That's all her most powerful attacks she has when you're right in her face. That's true for the concierge as well, but still. Ripper could be... Nah. Scheme also could be interesting if I had a very quick use item, like a Wave of Denial, for example. Then I could just spam that and get like big damage off of the initial hit. It would almost double the tentacle damage, at least for just the tentacle itself, which could be nice. I don't know. I'm just looking here and I'm like, let's just go for like big defense. I think that's a good it's not really a good option. I just want to try to really lean into the whole tactics thing, because hey, what's the point if I'm just going to be choosing a bunch of other nonsense stuff? Speaking of which, it's like the Cleaver and Powerful Grenade and Boy's Axe would all scale with brutality anyway. What am I even doing? What am I even doing? What is even the point of this? Right, I messed up the first episode because of the whole low frame rate deal. That's what the point of this is. It's a very simple, like, A to B type of scenario that I've created for myself. Anyway, I will take that just to make sure that I'm not going to be dying due to lack of health. Still, it's like the... it's like the lack of difference being made between the first episode and this one is I don't need to... Like, I feel like I've been driven into madness with the attempt to reconcile the problems that came up with the first run and just run into the same thing. I'm trapped in some sort of loop. The time is a flat circle, and I'm merely spinning along the dials, much like the hands themselves. I told you this might get kind of weird because it's very late at night. Hey, you did not do that last time. I feel like Motion Twin owes me... Wait, what just died there? Motion Twin owes me a refund. I'll take my, I don't know, $15 I got this when it was first introduced. Like the Dead Cells early access 1.0, well, 0.1. And 1.0 is kind of a different thing in terms of early access, after all. Because otherwise, that would be a very confusing thing. Look, there are 2 updates in this game that were called Dead Cells, and that was the very first one. Oh, well, I suppose there was also the Alpha, but that was called like Dead Cells Alpha. There's the first one, and then there was 1.0. I came in at the first one. I did not come in at like the beta that ended at the Fog Fjord, Stilt Village, whatever they're calling it these days, Misty Crossing. But it's like I'd like to say I came in fairly early. Why am I trying to measure my bona fides right now? It's not really relevant to this run. It's because I'm kind of losing my mind here doing this. The episode should have been complete, and yet it wasn't. You must complete the episode, lest people be sad that you put out kind of a crappy piece of content. if I'm going to harshly judge myself here. Well, anyway. And if that means going back into the hyperbolic time chamber to finish it, that means that you're going to be going back into the hyperbolic time chamber to finish the episode. Okay, what am I thinking about? You. I'm thinking I'm going to take you. Going to dump that. Going to get enemies kind of on top of the cleaver in one area, and then Big Punch. Because this does hit multiple enemies. Big Punch hits multiple enemies, and that's a good thing. That's the sort of thing that I am looking for. Look, I'd love to take that right now, but that's not the time. It's not the run. You had your chance. That was like episode 3 or something. That was my damage-taking sound, I guess. Anyway. 2, 3, and not quite enough of Big Punch, but that's okay, because I got this. All right, then. I will take punishment. I do like myself a punishment. Ain't gonna lie on that one. Also, I do like myself not dying. Look, I said that it's like, hey, I'm not gonna worry too much about like making this big old complete episode or anything like that, but there's an extent. There's an extent. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. There's an extent where it's like, I can't die in the ossuary and be like, well, that's enough. 20 minutes, enjoy. Go watch the other garbage episode. It's technically the real one anyway. Technically. Kind of. I would at least consider this a supplement to that episode. Saying that, like, neither one is the canonical episode, but if there was one that was more canonical, it would be this one because I'm monetizing it. I gotta stop saying that. Playing my hand too much in front of the audience here. God, it's late right now. Anyway. I am gonna probably want to go and buy that potion charge if I possibly can, because it's like, you know, we are talking... This is, yes, in fact, this is tactics. Thank you for asking. But also, you know, we are talking about, like, tactics as of the update plenty, which means that I can probably actually use the potion charges unlike usual. Where it's like, hey, you get your disengagement, which I probably should be getting disengagement, just speaking about that. Might not be technically a tactics item, but, or tactics mutation, but I'd say it's an honorary one at the very least. But yeah, it's like, wrong direction entirely. But yeah, it's like, it's a very important part. It's an integral part to having a good tactics run in a lot of ways. Right in there. Perfect. Parfait. This is actually kind of... Oh, what do we got up here? Well, I guess I gotta get a little closer. And yeah, this is actually, like, kind of working. A little bit of hiccup here and there. Ooh, well... it's just, you know what you know what I'm gonna say. It's not the run. Like, this is the Tentacle run. This is not the eschew the Tentacle for the sake of just doing another run with good items that I know about. Because it is a good item. I mean, I was just talking it up with the whole Crow's Wings comparison earlier. Hits multiple enemies at a time. Does, it does AoE damage, basically. It will inflict shock. Super good tracking. Short range, but, it's been improved so much from what it once was. And that's great. It's a very worthwhile take on just about any sort of build, regardless of if it's if you can get it colorless. But at the same time, not the run. Where is that damn 4th Chaos Emerald and Curse Chest? Okay. Alchemic Carbine I could probably also get down with, but I do like Punishment. And hey, it's been a little while since Punishment has actually scaled with the tactics. So I might as well give her the old cool leg try. And hopefully not die due to a curse right now. Right now! Oh, here it comes. Nah, I think I'm good. Well, I'm good for now. Let's not jump to conclusions here. Electrified target and stuff? Sure. Sounds coolio. Because after all, the magnetic grenade, I think, has been working out pretty well, so might as well keep that one on here. And then let's also take a look. No, speaking of things I've talked about before, to be honest, I will actually take a Tentacle over getting a potion charge right now because, man, oh man, well, it's also not the worst thing either, Like, I am a little bit low on health. Okay, so I am going to be taking disengagement last time. Probably switch out like the tranquility. Frankly, I don't even know what I was thinking there. But I know what I'm thinking right now, which is that I'm going to get rid of tranquility. But like aside from that, look, the fact that I've gotten hit a couple times by those guys says let's just not mess around with it. There we are. Just a couple more left here. And here's the point where it's just like I realized that I did say something and then I didn't complete that sentence. So, it's gone. Start a sentence and not finish it. A psycho killer, as you know. That's just nothing. That's not. It's too. Why did I not just decide to do this the next day? Because I wanted to set the surrender before I went to sleep. Because Dead Cells episodes, 60 frames a second, 1080p. They can take a while. They can take quite a while. So, being able to kind of start that one up here. Whoa. That's amazing. But anyway, I survived. Being able to start that one up is not a bad idea. Pro videographer tips from somebody who just put up a bad episode of nothing. All right, maybe you don't want to take advice from me. I guess it all depends on your attitude when it comes to making videos. Or I guess it depends on if you like to have two videos of wildly varying quality between them. But I don't know. I don't know what you want. Anyway, I am going to go and punch a few enemies around here, try and get up a little bit more health because I don't know, whatever, man. And then kind of clear out. Probably will end up taking a... Probably will end up taking a different set of affixes on here. It does have electrified targets. That is tempting. I did talk about whack builds. I don't know. I feel like this one is a little bit too spicy for high cell difficulty with a tactics run. So maybe, you know, just merely saying that out loud has kind of changed my mind on it. Yeah, and you know what? Let's quit faffing about here. There's nothing really too much else to do after all. No. This is perfectly fine. I'm not going to be able to afford that potion charge, even if I went and sold that Nerves of Steel. There's no real point. Where am I going to go get like the 60 kills? It's gone. It's dead. It's in the past. Don't fret about it, for it is already gone. One more. All right, this is it, though. Okay, that's it, especially because I literally can't. I just wanted to get Electrified Target skin, if I'm being real. I don't think anybody can blame me. In fact, I should be celebrated for my bravery in admitting it. So, disengagement. Head inside. Well, I mean, alienation acceptable. But I don't really think I want to be trying to mess around with... To mess around, I don't think I should be trying to like take the standard sort of stuff. Let's at least get one. Crow's foot, always. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna say a good choice. And aside from that, Predator has been working. Not like as well as I would like it to, but just preventing enemies from occasionally attacking me is going to be worthwhile. At least that's the way I see it. Is that actually how it's going to work? I don't know. All right. Get in here, punishment, back up, and then go for the punches. Gotta roll with those punches. Gotta be born under punches. Okay. The hands of a government man being tentacles would definitely be an interesting twist on that song. What does it mean? Yeah. You tell me. Yep. Okay. I mean, the thing is, I maybe could try to run in there, even when he's got the shield up, because of the big invincibility frames, and it looks like I'm going to have to... Wow, that actually worked. Huh. Now, okay, let's be honest here. The concierge is like the easiest boss in the entire game. That said, it's still an interesting little... Still an interesting little quirk of how this works, it seems. Yeah, like, look at that go. It's consistent, too. That wasn't just a fluke. Curiouser and curiouser. Let me just jump over here. Big. I mean, the thing is, invincibility frames last as long as you're on top of like a projectile or something. So, as it turns out, I'm actually like pretty safe as long as I just stand on top of the concierge's huge shockwaves. It's again like a really weird quirk that you almost would never even be able to notice of the engine, except the reason why I noticed it was because the way you would sometimes roll through the spike balls, ball and chains, is that you would like follow the ball and chain for like a noticeable amount of time, and that's why I figured out that whole, again, just like tiny, just infinitesimal quirk of the engine that still can, you know, obviously be used for some strategies. There's some tech here that you can use and abuse if you're really feeling like it. It's just, I don't know, man. Is it worth taking the Tentacle to have an easy time fighting the concierge? I'm gonna say right now, no. I'll make a definitive decision right here. No. There we go. He's got it once. Yeah, let's just go with this. Whatever. The defense is down there, and for good reason. Also, easier time. Not an easy time comparatively. I need far more stats and or synergies to make that happen. By the way, I do have Tentacle 8 right now, so that was... Yeah, I picked that up in a shop. Couldn't quite remember that, but... But yes, I played this game for over 1,500 hours. Can you tell? Okay. 14. At least I'm off that unlucky 13. I don't know. Despite the fact that I wouldn't really say that I'm very superstitious, for some reason I still notice when I see number 13. Even though I'm like, it doesn't matter. But it's also like, yeah, but it's a stupid thing, and I know it. But I still notice it nonetheless. All right, let's get out here. Rampagers, same thing. Oh, actually, no. Rampagers and also the pirate captain is going to be probably at least somewhat easier to deal with. And in fact, also the weirded warriors. You know, worst comes to worst, they got their own dash attacks, which, again, you can see how generous these. You can see how generous these invincibility frames get off this thing are. It's like I could see it working well in this area in particular, considering that it's a very pelagic focused area in the first place. I guess that only makes sense, but it's fitting to have the tentacle be surprisingly useful here. But at the same time, it's also like, not really something that I thought about too much when deciding to go into this area. No, what I was thinking about is, hey, I probably want to have that food shop, eh? And I do. Oh, that's interesting. So it can kind of counter the tentacle, but like not really. Like it still takes damage because, tentacle goes through shields. And if you punch it, it's like that's considered a melee weapon, so yeah, ain't gonna do. Just keep on going, I suppose. What an unusual interaction. Anyway, continuing on. Food shop, obviously, like I said. Am I going to get 20,000 gold? Probably not. I did that whole thing where I decide to gamble. I spent all my money on gambling. Don't regret it, though. Hey, what if I hit it big time? I'd be out of here. The whole YouTube gig, don't need it anymore. I'm rich in tentacles. And what man does not want to be rich in tentacles? None man. None man. Let me tell you right now. Gah! All right, what do we even got here? I don't even know what I want. There's a war javelin. That's fun, but not quite what I'm looking for. Well, what do you got? No, I'm gonna, yeah. And get the electrified targets. I know, again, but it's like, I don't know if I'm even going to be able to afford a potion charge by the end of this. I really have my doubts. So, yeah. Don't have corrupted healing to squander this time, though. Unlike last time. So I do have to be at least a little bit careful. Worst comes to worst, alienation acceptance. You know it, you probably are very sick of seeing it, but it is the best combination for healing in high cell difficulties. What can I say? It's just the truth. Look, I don't make these rules, and usually when I say that, I do make the rules, but this time I actually don't. I just follow them. And sometimes, it's more important to win and to keep it fresh. I'm not the McDLT of YouTube channels, That's a lie. I definitely am. At least until Jason Alexander gets his own YouTube channel. He probably has one. What am I even saying? He's probably out there, like, streaming Risk of Rain 2 right now, and I just don't even know. And if not, get at me. I've been playing that game lately due to contractual obligation, but, you know, I have. It's a verbal contract. It's okay, Mr. Alexander, come on. I'm not good at the game, but if you're good at the game, you'll look better by comparison. Think about it. No, he's probably playing Fall Guys. I don't even know what that game is. I just know it's taking over the world at this point in time. So I just want to date the episode there. Please enjoy. Please enjoy dating the episode. You get a nice bottle of rosé. You know where I'm going with this. It's stupid, and I don't even feel like finishing it. Wow, what was that noise? That was me trying. I don't even know what I was trying to do. It was like I just stuck out my tongue and went and exhaled loudly. Whatever, it's cool. Usually, you know, when you're like expressing surprise, you you open your mouth and exhale loudly. I just kind of lazily stuck out my tongue and went bleh. Except worse than that. Anyway, where's the other food shop? Over here. Okay. Hey, actually worked out pretty nice. I think I am starting to hit the point of the run where it's turning around ever so slowly. Slowly but surely. Yeah, there was no way. There was no way I was going to get that 20K. No way, no how. But at the same time, I guess I can go Sepulchre this time. I went to Clock Tower last time. I said I'm going to try to do a different route. It's just the same route. It's just the same. I didn't even try. I didn't even try to make this a different route. Like, there was not even one iota of attempt to make a different route. It's just... jeez. I cannot believe that I didn't make the time door. That is also very embarrassing. Black mark on the record here. Okay, one more curse chest. Not the worst. Not the worst chest. And then maybe I'll go fight the giant. Didn't do that last time because I'm going to say right now I don't think my punches would be nearly as good as his. I guess we'll see how it goes by the end of this. And nope. Still not a great item. What can I say? Now then, speaking of things that are not great, I do have to deal with this curse now. Not enthused about that. You pull yourself into enemies with this weapon. It's not great. Maybe there'll be, like, easy start. Easy-ish start. And then, ha-cha-cha. That did not work. Well, it mostly worked. It didn't instantly kill him, which was the plan. But, you know, the best laid plans of mice and men. Now then. Stuff's hit through walls. And I don't think that they notice me. And in fact, I can also get a permanent light source right here. So that's cool. Good. Alright, this, unless I get very lucky, quote-unquote lucky, and get a second curse chest. This should also be pretty much the end right now. Yep, looking good. So I don't have to worry too much about curses and the like. Which is, like I said, major concern of this run. Do I want to? I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just thinking about it right now. Magnetic Grenade, of course, does have the synergies. Explosive decoy, 100% burning. Well, that would be nice. I just don't have the stuff to make this work. I don't got it, the right stuff, to make a New Kids on the Block album. It's just devolving over time, isn't it? Oh well. Hang tight, we're almost there. Cool. I'll take that. Certainly anything that gets me higher up in statage right now is going to be of utmost importance. And here's the thing. I do have a legendary punishment shield, so even if the Tentacle might not be the best, you know what is? The punishment. That's the best. Of things that would be considered best, whether the or just a top runner in its field, punishment would definitely be of those. Along with the blood shield. Of course. But I don't need to tell you that. Now then. 25, starting to get there. The only question is, will I be able to fully get there? Alright, let's just go look at Nathan Drake. Yeah, nice if I was going for a survival run, but obviously nothing I'm too worried about here. I don't know exactly what I would want right now, but something. Burning oil would be pretty nice if I could get that, but there's nothing here that's really going to be working towards that particular goal. Can't quite tell what the other item is. Really, I'm not looking to go around and buy stuff from shops right now for the most part, so I guess it doesn't matter, but it would have been nice to at least figure it out. Good, good. 26. Starting to get there. 30 would be the ideal, but I suppose at least like 28 would be the acceptable number. 75 damage reduction, I don't know. It just has such low health anyway. Even nullifying 75% of a hit is still a pretty hefty hit. Unfortunately. Alright. Well, there's synergy with electrified targets, but I don't know. It's like, maybe I could use that, but I'm just going to say right now, probably unlikely. I'm going to take that malaise. Rather just have the health than anything else. Getting close to 60. And 60 could potentially mean a quite powerful item to be coming up in the next area. So I am probably going to want to make sure that I'm going to get that. Excuse me. Hopefully I was far enough away from the microphone, because I am not going to remember to edit that out. Sneezing, that is. Spreads to other enemies nearby. Not too bad. Not too shabby. But Wave of Denial, also okay. And I'll take a look here. Maybe there's going to be something. I mean, that is some pretty big extra damage. Doesn't electrify enemies. It's kind of what I would like to get there. Now you do want that 40% extra damage. I'm going to replace Flurk Shock. Yeah. I'm going to do that. Because I think that this is just going to be a better option, especially for the Tentacle. Just a flat increase to damage means a lot of extra damage from the initial Tentacle hit. It's the same thing that I was talking about with the Hokuto's bow, of course. Okay. I pressed the wrong button. See, just tentacling by itself, working out pretty well. Alright, that might actually be able to defeat that Inquisitor down there just by itself. Yep, and in fact it did. Cool. Is that 28 then? No, 27. Close, but not quite there. Cool. All right. Well, I didn't get the 60 kills, unfortunately. But weird circumstances like that will just have that be the thing that happens. Yeah. I don't like it, but I also can't say anything to stop it. So, is the burden I must bear. What a nice area in here. Good. Good, good, and good. Poison enemies, I don't know. I think I'm okay with what I got right now. I don't think it really makes too much of a difference. Like I said, that whole 75% damage reduction, it just doesn't matter. Ah. Unfortunately, there's nothing here that I can even latch on to try and get the... Ah, dang it. You have to try and get like a bunch of rally from either. Even though that would be... Yeah, that would be the place to get it. Dang. Swarm was the other item. Yeah, I think I'm okay leaving that by the wayside. Hi. I see you made it. Oh, and then Caltrips doing them in. Not really been the best, the Caltrips. And I don't think it's going to be helping too much here, but hey, I got them. They are a part of this build. For better or for worse. Till death do I part. Maybe I should have tried re-rolling to get, like, electrifies enemies, but at the same time, I already got rid of the I still have the... No, you can pull the... Good job. No, I don't think this one's gonna work. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. It's what one would call a not great idea, but a little bit desperate. Just a little bit, though. It's not too bad. You can't really get the distance on this, and like getting the distance on the hands too is also awkward in the way that you can see right now. What the heck is going on? What the heck is going on? This works, kind of. Not as well as I would like it to. Okay. Ah, just very strange. Also, I did completely forget to... I probably should have switched out to... Yep. Of course it was right into that, eh? No, stop that. So I could pull myself through the I-beams, it seems, but... yeah. I think you can see where the issue comes in that I'm talking about here. Okay, really got to watch out for them crystals. Well, not gonna say that was great, but I am gonna say that was a win. You can't say it wasn't. No disagreeing on status of wins here. Say that right now. This is going to be a nightmare. But let's just go right to the Hand of the King, I think. If you get into the right rhythm, I think that could work there, because you can pull yourself through the I-beams. You could probably pull yourself through like a lot of the projectiles. You can even really, like I said, get yourself into the right rhythm and go back and forth, getting the big punches on the eyeball. But like, yeah. Is it worth it? I don't think so. Just go with the turrets. Just go with the turrets. Everybody likes a turret run, including in 5-star tactics. Of course. 22% health, eh? So if I get hit once, I'm going to die. And no one-hit protection or disengagement is going to save me. No, I will just instantly keel over, no questions asked. Yeah! And there it is. All right, well, it's 3 a.m. I think I'm going to call it a night.